Good morning, everyone. Today is Friday, September 13th, and today we will cover the trades for YieldMax funds, TSLY, CONY, NVIDIA, and Misty. And it looks like there's going to be a Cricket that's going to be a part of this video. So a special guest today, Mr. Cricket. He's outside of the garage, so I can't chase him away. But anyway, in follow-up to yesterday's video, where I was going under, the different scenarios, and I didn't honestly think that they were changing the covered call ETF payments, but they are. So once, I made that video, I guess shortly after, they sent this distribution schedule out. So in summary, most of the YieldMax funds are now set up so that, it's kind of spread out that you'll get paid weekly. To clarify, the covered call ETFs are not getting paid weekly. They are still getting paid monthly, but they are now being separated in different groups, so they all have a different payment schedule. For example, Group A, which you see on the bottom left, has TSLY, Crash. Sorry, I'm not even going to zoom in. TSLY, Crash, GUI, YBIT, OARC, Zomo, SNOI, TSMY. Those are all Group A. So if you look, they're going to pay on October 4th. They're going to pay on November 1st, December 2nd, and then December 30th, okay, throughout the rest of the year. Group B, which is NVIDIA, DIPS, Phoebe, GDXY, etc., they're going to pay October 11th, which is a week after the TSLY group. I guess we can call it the TSLY group. And then they're going to pay November 8th, again, a week after the TSLY group. And then, December 6th. And then after, actually that'll be their last payment of the year. And then Group C, and then Group D, and so on. So, and what this does is this allows people to buy into their funds, various funds, and they will be able to get paid weekly. Because this wasn't, this is in demand as of late. People, their argument is getting paid monthly is not enough. The normal pay cycle that people are used to is weekly. Although in the real world, it's not really like that. It's bi-weekly. The majority of people do get paid bi-weekly. But either way, you can now invest in various covered call ETFs and get paid weekly. So if you own the four that I covered, TSLY, NVIDIA, CONY, Misty, guess what? You're going to get paid every single week, which is, it's awesome. Believe me, it is. It's cool to get paid every week. And it's also going to be the same chunk, so since it's still monthly, you're not going to get a small, tiny payment. You're going to get, what you expect to be this, the big monthly payment. I'm about to go outside and chase this cricket away. But yeah, so that's what they're doing with the covered call ETFs. Now, as far as YMAX and YMAG, they're going to be paying weekly. Those funds are going to be paying weekly, and they're able to do that now because they invest in all the covered call ETFs in the groups, not the shorts. So, like Crash and Dips, that's not in YMAX. But everything else, that's in there for the most part is part of YMAX. So obviously they're now able to pay out on a weekly basis. So after Group A pays, then guess what? A week later, they're going to pay what Group A paid them. And then after Group B pays, obviously YMAX will get paid what Group B pays them, and then they'll pay that the following week. So I did interview Jay yesterday. By the way, I reached out to him just last minute because this came out. It's a big freaking change, man. This is a lot. So I saw the conversations going on. I'm like, you know what? Let me see for the hell of it, if he's available. I know he's a busy guy. And believe it or not, he was, and he came on the show. So props to him for being able to do that. Because I wanted him to explain, basically this big announcement. On top of that, I wanted you guys to be able to ask what you wanted to ask. I know there's a lot of defiance questions yesterday. By the way, we'll have the Sylvia on very soon because I'm having Sylvia and Jay on at the end of the month. I wanted to keep yesterday's focus really on these changes here because there's so much involved, so many questions. So my expectation is obviously YieldMax got the recent big chunk payment from all the funds. I think they're spreading that over the next 3 payments. So if you look, they're going to pay that on 9/20, 9/27, and 10/4. And then when Group A pays them, they're going to pay Group A's payment on 10/11 and so on. So that's what I believe is going to happen based on my discussion with Jay yesterday. I will pin the video where I interviewed him yesterday, so you guys can watch it if you haven't already, okay? All right. Any questions on this, feel free to ask on the comments, but I think most of it was covered on the video with Jay. But again, this is a huge announcement. Oh yeah, Ulti is not weekly. Ulti, you'll see it's under Group C, but I think, same payment schedule for Ulti. They're not going to fall under the group, they're not going to fall under the YieldMax payment schedule, because YieldMax and YieldMag can pay weekly because they're invested in the various groups. Ulti is not. Ulti does its own thing. And by the way, Ulti filed for all these different changes that they could do, moving forward. And I believe that'll come out very soon, where they're allowed to do even like puts and things like that. So I'm a huge, hearing that yesterday about Ulti, I'm like, yes, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love the flexibility. So I'm definitely going to be more into Ulti. All right, let's move on. Again, I apologize for this stupid cricket, but he's outside of the garage. What the frick? God, all right, I can't. All right, so I did some trades yesterday. I'm not going to cover that. Obviously, here's the thumbnail to the last minute video. Thank you, Jay, obviously, for, taking the time. But so here's the trades. So NVIDIA had a trade and CONY had a trade. No one else. So let's look at NVIDIA. So NVIDIA, what the hell did they do? Well, if you look, they sold a call, BC to put. I mean, the order is unusual. Usually it's not in this type of order. So you usually see the the synthetic part at the top, but the synthetic's at the bottom. So they closed out 3,800 contracts from the synthetic. So the bottom two, 3,800, BC put, sell call. And they BC'd the call for the weekly and 3,800 contracts from that. So we'll take a look. I noticed CONY was like that too. The trades were kind of sloppy all over the place. I don't know if they produced those documents, but maybe since yesterday was such a crazy day, that's the reason. I'll let it slide due to the busy day. All right, 3,800 contracts. Here it is, being removed from the 109. I feel like I have to talk loud because of stupid cricket, but hey, every video is a new adventure, and this is a special cricket video. So they sold the call, 5.6 mil is what they received, and they BC'd the put. They had to pay 1.2 mil. So in the end, closing out the 109, again, they're 9.3% above that. So they actually made out. They made $4.3 million closing out this position. So that's good. Good stuff. And that leaves them with 83,140 contracts that obviously they expire in 36 days. Okay. Moving on to the September. How did NVIDIA do yesterday? They went up 2.02%. NVIDIA only went up 0.74%. So, I mean, we already know this, but when you see something like this, obviously, it means NVIDIA's calls are pretty capped. Like, they're already blown through because they're not capturing the total upside. The call, the sell call and the weekly call is pushing down the gains that NVIDIA is making because, it costs more and more to close out those current positions. So yesterday they closed out, 3,800 contracts from the 113. It cost them, unfortunately, $3.28 per share, which is much more than they got at the open. So when all said and done, it cost them, it was a loss of $737,200. But obviously we made much more on closing these synthetics, so all in all, it wasn't too bad. We'll call it a half-assed synthetic bailout, but it was kind of probably forced, it seems like people may have sold out of the fund, which is why they had to close out 3,800 contracts. Which is, if not, it's unusual that they would do that. But let's just assume that is the case. All right, so what does that leave left? It means we got 83,140 contracts with a 113 strike price. This expires again next week, next Friday, not today, next Friday, 6 trading days. It's 5.15% in the money. Now, safe to say, it's a goner at this point. I mean, NVIDIA, of course, it can come back down. But either way, it doesn't matter. The synthetic is in a good position that the profit of the synthetic exceeds the loss of the weekly call. So it'll be a net profit when they do, decide to close the positions, which they obviously, I don't think they will as of yet, because they have an entire week. They might see how it plays out. All right, so outstanding shares, no movement. I would expect a decline, but there was no movement. 41,125, right? Yeah, 41,125. All right, 30-day IV, 53%. Outstanding shares, 41,125,000. Total net income, 9.6 mil. That's a distribution of 24 cents. Daily income of 3 cents a day. Daily yield of 0.13%. And if you annualize that, that's 46%. So not bad. And my reactions today, get ready. Yes, a little corny. But again, Jay deserves, a thank you on all 4, because he, he didn't have to do what he did. He didn't have to come on last minute. Again, he had six hours notice when I emailed him. So he's just a great dude for doing that. Regardless of what I think of, the trades sometimes and, the change overall, it's just more about speaking to his audience, right? And being available to his audience and answering questions. So it's cool, man. It's really cool. All right, so this is what? NVIDIA? Yeah, so NVIDIA declaration date, I put 10/9. Let me go back to the file. Where is it? So NVIDIA falls under Group B. So Group B, the next declaration, if you look at the top, is 10/9. Okay. So that's why, again, I updated the declaration date to 10/9. So all of these, the 4 that I cover, each one is going to have a different declaration date. So very annoying, honestly, but it's not as much of a pain in the ass as I thought. So I'm able to track. I mean, it's pretty much me updating a date, so the estimate can do its thing. But anyway, let's move on. Synthetic loss, 60 mil. Short call income, 9.6 mil. And that will come to about 24 cents per share for the weekly call income. Throw that into the Rotomator. It comes to an estimate of $1, which is a 52% yield, which is not bad. The IV is 53%, so it's kind of in line with what they, expect to pay. Which is around $1 too, so not bad at all. All right, we go to the holdings. We got, sell put, sell call in pink. Again, that expires October 18th. And then they got the one call that expires next week. Not much to talk about there. Synthetic bailout money. I have the proper formula. 3, 9, 10. Let's see. 3, 9, 10. Okay. Yeah, so we talked about this just on the other screen. They can close out the weekly and cash out the synthetic, and they would make 24.8 million. Obviously, if they add that over here, well, would that help? Would that help? Absolutely, it would, right? You see what 9.6 million does. Makes 24 cents per share. Obviously, 24 million additional. It's going to be a pretty nice addition to that. But either way, the total net assets is 946 mil. The NAV is 2303, and the trade price is 2302. As I'm recording this, I'm wondering if I hit the mic on. I hope I did, but anyway, let's go to the next trade. Cricket clearly wants to stay for the whole video, so you guys are just going to have to get used to him. All right, here's CONY's freaking disaster, man. Oh my God, I can't do this. All right, so what'd they do? Top 2, sell call, BC put. Okay, they closed out 9,000 contracts from the 195 synthetic. All right, easy enough. Next 2, all right, buy call, sell put. They added 9,000 contracts to the 155 synthetic. Okay, easy enough. And then what happened? All right, they sold a call. And then, okay, 10,000. And then they sold another call. All right, obviously those two should not be after each other. So you got to think, okay, they sold a call, 10,000 contracts, expires 9/13. Let's look for the other 9/13. It's way on the bottom. And then, all right, so on the bottom, they BC'd the call, 9/13, the 160, 10,000 contracts. Okay, and then in the middle is where they sold the new call, 172.50, expires 9/20, and they bought the new call credit spread at 182.50. I know I probably just confused the hell out of people, but that's basically what happened. It makes more sense on the spreadsheet anyway. So let's get to there. Okay, here is the 195. So they closed out 9,000 contracts as we stated. This one is underwater. So they're 16% away from the strike price on this synthetic. So they had to pay 26.9 million. Again, this price, this cost was already baked into the value of the fund. So no change, really. It's just a taxable event, right? It's a paper loss until it's not. Now, contract-wise, that leaves 18,105 contracts at the 195 strike, which honestly, it still has 36 days. So coin, I could see that recovery happening. You never know, because coin it's crypto. Crypto, anything can happen. Although coin has been just getting his butt kicked, so maybe not so much coin, but again, since it's crypto related, who knows? So if we look at the 9,000 contracts, here's the addition to the 155. Let's see where they're at 155 wise. They're actually up, 5%. So this, it's going to cost them money. So if you look, it cost them 17.1 mil on the call, and they only got an 8.2 mil credit. So obviously, they lost money here too. They kind of paid about 9 mil when all said and done. But hopefully this becomes, that position alone is more profitable, and hopefully coin continues to go up. But either way, a taxable event nonetheless. Maybe they could pay out the majority of their funds when all said and done for the fiscal year out of return of capital. Which, believe it or not, yes, that's what we want, because we don't want to pay. If you have this in a taxable account, you'll be greatly appreciative of all these moves, at the end. All right, 9/12, which was yesterday. What did coin do? Coin went up 3.61%. CONY went up 2.64%. Okay. Now, all right, again, this spreadsheet is beyond complicated. Before the interview, Jay was asking how I'm covering this, so I showed him. He seemed to like it made sense to him as well. But either way, I also tried to pull it up on the live stream. I didn't get him to quote it enough, but maybe next time. Again, it's just such a busy day. All right, so here's the 10,000 contracts that they closed. Again, this was a loss. They lost out because, they were in the money. So they closed out 10,000 contracts. And unfortunately, on the weekly call, we're just talking about the 160, the usual, they paid $470 to close it. They lost 2.6 mil, right? Our protection is, the buy call that they purchased, right? This is part of the credit call spread, the 170. It was approaching possible profitability, but no, it did not. So they only got a 54-cent credit when all said and done. So in the end, that was a loss of 220,000. Obviously, not ideal, but the strategy certainly is a work in progress. We'll see how it plays out. Here's where they moved the 10,000 though. They got a 295 credit for the 172.50. This comes out to be 5.9% out of the money with 6 trading days. And then they purchased a call again. $10 is the number, man. They paid $114 for that. So if you look, annualized yield, 82% on the top, negative 31% on the bottom. So if you net the two, we got about 51%. 51% is below the 30-day IV of 67%, which honestly looks really high at the moment. So again, somewhat conservative, but still, again, that he did confirm yesterday between the two, the goal is the same. So this should not hurt what we expect to get today on an annualized yield. This is only to protect us, losing out on the potential high gains that the underlying can do. He also mentioned they're doing this strategy on 8 funds. However, they are filed to do this strategy on all of the covered call ETFs. So they may not be using them on all of them, but they can if they want to. That's their decision at that time. So we are trusting them to make the right decision to use these credit call spreads when needed. All right, now there's a lot here, all right? I know, I feel like I talked too much already, but let's just go to it. 5,000 contracts, 167.50 strike price. This expires today. This is 2.83% out of the money. All right, so we kind of need coin to slow its roll and close out where it is, or stay just stable at 167.50. Where's it at now? It's at 162.50, right? 160. Where the hell is it? No, 162.89. But we'll see. I mean, if not, if it's gonna break through, then it's got to go above the 177.50 if we're gonna get any kind of profit out of this, the buy call we purchased. But we'll see. I don't know. Next position is 10,000 contracts. This has a 160 strike. This is 1.77% in the money. Okay. So this one is already in danger zone. So now we're looking down below at its friend. All right, you going to help me? I'm sorry. This is, oh my God, I'm reading the one I closed. My bad. But that would have been a perfect scenario because it's like, okay, you got my back. You got my back. Not yet. 4% more. But, there's plenty of examples. All right, so let's talk about this one, this 6,000 contracts. This one expires next week, though, 6 trading days, 162.50. This is in the money, 0.24% in the money. So same scenario. All right, 6,000. You got my back. Other 6,000? Not yet. 5.9% away from getting your back. All right, we'll see. And then we got for today, 6,100 contracts. Another 160. 160 is in the money. If coin goes above 170, then the buy call could make some money. But if it stays in the middle of 160, again, as Jay said yesterday, the worst possible closeout for like this exact position is it closing at 169.99, right? Right before the 170. That's worst case scenario. So we either want it to close below the 160 or above the 170. Really, that's what we're hoping. All right, so if we look at this one, another 913, 1,100 contracts, 162.50, also in the money. But again, 172.50 ain't worth a damn. It's still 5.9% away. So again, best case scenario, just close below the 162.50, right? I doubt we're going to go above 172.50, 170, but we'll see. And again, I apologize if this sounds confusing, but this is how the fund is set up now. All right, so we got 640 contracts, 162.50 in the money. And same thing, we'll see. That expires next week, though. And then we talked about the 10,000. So, yeah, CONY, man. CONY's a pain in my ass, to be honest. And if all these funds start doing this, like I said, there's no way I'm going to be able to do all 4. But we'll see how it plays out. Outstanding shares increased by 125,000, so that's pretty nice. 30-day IV, 67%. Outstanding shares, 46 million. Total net income, 4 mil. It was better. Obviously, they ate away at the income from closing that out. But distribution is 9 cents. Daily income, 1 cent. And daily yield, 0.09%. Annualized yield, 32%. So it is what it is. Again, another thank you to YieldMax, to Jay for, coming on. All right, deck date countdown for CONY. Again, to go back to the spreadsheet, we have to look at the deck dates, right? CONY falls under Group C. Group C's next declaration date is 10/16. So obviously I plugged that in, and then this formula does its thing. It does B16, which obviously is the deck date I put in, minus today. So 33 days until declaration date. All right, so that obviously I need that number, that important number for the Rotomator to use. All right, here's the summary for September. Synthetic income is not income, it's a loss. 55 mil loss. Short call income is 4 mil, which only comes to 9 cents a share. So obviously the estimate is not going to be too good, 45 cents. So let's look at the IV estimate, 70 cents. Both kind of suck, to be honest. So let's move on to the next page. Yeah, I mean, holdings, I'm not going to talk about these again in the holdings. It's just a freaking disaster. But obviously, we got the synthetics that expire October 18th. And the total net assets, 609.8 mil. Obviously, I'm going to have to expand these totals that are on the bottom. The holdings now are coming down. This is a formula that they pull. We don't want them to touch our totals or else we'll get an error. But either way, 609.8 mil. NAV is 1324. And what? No, hold on. Okay, that's wrong. See, wasn't picking up the whole freaking thing. Oh, ouch. Sorry, guys. The total net assets is 573.6 mil. What a letdown. The NAV is 1245. Trade price 1245. So, yeah, that's CONY. All right. No one else had trades. So we did NVIDIA. We did CONY. We'll go right to Misty. Misty has a 139 synthetic. They're 5.92% away from that price. 36 days till expiration. So we can move on. No reason to worry about that or even talk about it. How did MSTR do yesterday? They went up by 1.15%. MSTY says, screw you, I'm going up 1.18%, which is a pretty damn good day. Misty shareholders, very, very happy. I am now one of them. Very, very happy. All right, so let me zoom out. We'll get there. We'll get there. Okay, what do we got? All right, so all of these expired today, all right? 3 different strikes. We'll start at the bottom. Bottom strike, 131 strike, 400 contracts, 0.18% out of the money. Yikes. Okay, what's the next strike? 132. I mean, I wish yesterday was Friday, man. That would have been a perfect closeout. Damn. All right, the majority of the contracts, this is important, 33,815 contracts. 132 strike. This is 0.94% out of the money. This is not good, man. MSTR, I feel like, has been on an uptrend, but I don't know. Maybe we'll get lucky and it'll tank a little today or stay flat, and then we can close these out in a profit. All right, so last but not least, 575 contracts, 133 strike price, 1.71% out of the money. So a little more room there. Unfortunately, it's only 575 contracts. Outstanding shares did go up by 50,000. Whoopie frickin' do. That's about 2 creation units. 30-day IV is 77%. Outstanding shares 22.3 mil. Total net income 9 mil. Distribution 40 cents. Daily income 5 cents a day. Daily yield 0.24%. Annualized yield 85%. These are great numbers. Unfortunately, if MSTR goes up today a decent amount, it's not going to be as pretty. Again, I'm just thanking you. Appreciate you coming in. I said I would do that. All right, so who we covering? Misty. Misty is in Group D. So if you go to Group D, this is the latest one. So obviously, a lot of Misty shareholders are kind of disappointed, but their next declaration is late October, 10/23. So that means, what does that mean? That means we got to wait to get paid. So it's got about a month and a half of activity now. Even as of today, we got 40 days until declaration date. So that changes things. This is going to come out to be possibly a massive payment. And I brought it up in the interview yesterday. I said, you can pay all that like up front, whatever you make, if it's a massive payment. And he basically said maybe not. They could hold back for the next payment. Who knows? But we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Obviously, once this all gets caught up, everything will be monthly from there on out, so it won't be as bad. But obviously, you have to wait one time for Group D's. C's and B's as well, but Group D's really got to wait. Obviously, this affects the dividend CAR, which I have to redo that whole thing, but whatever. All right, September synthetic loss 2.4 mil, short call income 9 mil. So since we have short call income, it's 40 cents a share. The Rotometer says we got 40 days, all right? Based on what we're averaging, we could make 243, which is 136% yield. Now, obviously, that, seems a little ridiculous. But, it's Misty. So it's really not that ridiculous. But that is a nice payment. If we simply go off on the IV though, down to the real world estimate here, possibly 139. So again, who knows? It could be anywhere within these two ranges. I don't know. All right, so for Misty, Misty has the easiest holdings to look at. All right, 1 synthetic, 3 calls, all expired today. We'll see how this day plays out. 500 mil in cash. All right, just give me one of those mils. All right, Misty. Total net assets, 476 mil. The NAV is 2135 and the trade price is 2145. Okay. All right, guess what? Last but not least, Mr. TSLY himself. Here we go. 225 synthetic. They are 2.14% above that strike. It's expiring in 64 days. This one's 0.08% lower. But again, these synthetics expire so far away. Since there was no trades, nothing to really talk about. But Tesla did go up when all said and done. 0.7%. TSLY went up more, 0.85%. So you can't complain. Good day for TSLY. Now, what about their calls? Are they going to win their weekly calls, right? TSLY's known for not winning their weekly calls, but lately, I have to say, they have been doing pretty well. So for today, they only have 1,315 contracts. Let me just make sure of that in the holdings. One expires. Okay. Yep. Again, sometimes I don't trust my own data. All right, 1,315 contracts, 230 strike price. This is 0.08% out of the money. Obviously, we need Tesla to not move. All right, stay where you're at, close where you're at, and we can be a profit. This will be a profit when all said and done. Now, as far as the one for next week, we kind of got to say the same thing, which sucks. 30,048 contracts, 230 strike price, 0.08% out of the money. So Tesla, you can't move for a week. Is that all right? Again, what's their synthetic at? It's at 230 and 225. So 230 is the strike price. At least the 225 is lower, so they'll make money on that one. But the 230 will kind of be a wash in a sense. But on the call side. All right, outstanding shares did go up by 325,000, and I'll explain what I just said next week as we get into it. 30-day IV, 61%. Outstanding shares, 52,975,000. Weekly call loss, 31 mil. So again, they're not winning on their weeklies, but it is what it is. All right, the last thank you. Now we're done kissing ass, but again, we gotta appreciate the hard work. All right, so. But again, for those of you that did complain why the last minute video or next for the notice or whatever they said on Reddit, I didn't have any notice either. It was a last minute thing. But if you want, I've given you plenty of notice. I give you like 2 months for the Jay and Sylvia interview. That'll be the end of this month. So there should be ample time for that, for you guys to attend that one. All right, synthetic income, 44 mil. Short call, loss, 31 mil. So we have to look at total income per share, which comes to 24 cents. Which, again, we can't use the Rotometer since there's no weekly call income. So if we just look at the IV, we're looking at 67 cents. All right, here's the holdings. Again, not much change, not much going on. Synthetics and calls, we know the deal there. Total net assets, 695 mil. Total NAV, 1312. Total trade price, 1310. Okay? We did all 4 funds, all right? I did all 4 funds, a lot going on, craziness, but now we can go to the pre-market. By the way, the cricket left, clearly. Much more peaceful. All right, so Tesla. Tesla needs to do what? Stay flat. So far, so good. It's only up 0.01%. We will take it. This is as of 5:48 a.m. All right, not bad. TSLY is up 0.38%. It's even more. I'll take it, 13.15. NVIDIA is up 0.17%, 119.34. NVIDIA is up 0.3%. It's at 23.09. COIN is up 0.43%, 163.59. CONY is up 0.24%. It's at 12.48. MSTR is up 0.24%, 131.09. MSTY it's up 0.14%. It's at 21.48. Direction TSLL is down. Wow. So Tesla's up 0.01. Direction TSLL is down 0.09. Hey, I want this to close below 10 so I keep my shares. If it doesn't, I don't care. But honestly, that would be a good scenario. But we'll see. We'll see. So I'm rooting for Tesla to go down today. TNA is unstoppable lately. So yeah, they're up 2.8% at 40.05. It's gonna be, I can't really sell puts on them anymore until they start going down. AMDY, oh my God, AMDY updated. So I guess I can't kick them out. They're up 0.44%. They're at 1380. AMZY, oh my God, they work too. They're up 0.57%, 1952. Bitcoin down 0.45% at 58,116. BitTEX is down 0.68%. It's at 2493. Okay, so that's the update. All right, that is a lot. I know there's a lot. There's a lot of information. Again, if you're confused on the payout schedule, hopefully you can go check out the interview. If it still confuses you, feel free to join the Discord. The link is in my channel. And you can join the YieldMax channel. There's tons of people. The YieldMax channel is the busiest channel. So if you write anything in there, someone will get back to you. And most people in there are very familiar with these funds and are able to help you out. And by the way, when it comes to Discord, no, I do not message people. So if you get a message from retire on dividends or retire on dividends _ or retire _ dividend, it's not me. Okay. Look at the name, look at the date joined, or just, assume it's not me, because I don't message people. So it'll be spam. So please make sure to block, report, delete. All right. Same thing goes if you see like a moderator messaging you, it's not going to happen. So just always assume when it comes to Discord, when you get direct messages, this is for any group. Always assume it's spam. All right. If you're always under that assumption, you'll be just fine. Because, normally, these spammers, they do their best. They try their hardest to rip people off. That's what they do. If you look at some of the messages, because they share it with me, like, you think I would write like 4 paragraphs? You think I have that much like energy and time? And do you think I sound like this, robotic? I don't know. I'm kind of like ashamed in a way that people think it's me sometimes. Like, they have to ask me, is that you? I'm like, really? But no, it's not me. So I apologize. But it's Discord, man. Discord I'm doing my best to try to eliminate them, but they're everywhere. As always, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. This video is for fun and entertainment. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you were entertained. If not, we will try again tomorrow. If you enjoy this content, please hit the like button. If you want to help the channel, you can share it with your friends and family. If you have any questions or concerns, leave them in the comments below. I know that's a mouthful. And last but not least, keyword, again, stick with the corniness, but again, it's since I'm, appreciative of the last minute, I'm going to say today's keyword is thank you, Jay. So if you made it this far in the video and you want to prove that you made it this far in the video, all you have to do is type in the comments, thank you, Jay. You can add your question or comment or other comment after that. But again, if you want to prove that you're a trooper and you're able to listen to this cricket video the whole entire time, then all you have to do is type thank you, Jay, because we should thank him. He does watch, I'm not going to say he watches all my videos, but he watches some of them. So I think he would be appreciative seeing all of the thank you, Jays. So maybe we can, make it all worth it for him, or you could give him you could say whatever you want to him. Hopefully he reads them. But anyway, I'm out of here. I hope everyone has a great day. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Again, tomorrow's the big video because we'll see how they close out any of the existing contracts, especially Misty. Big day, big day. All right, I'm out of here. Have a great day. Hopefully this all recorded, the audio. If not, I will cry. All right, take care. Bye.